Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul B. He's Buddy to God. Fresh edition is happening right now on this Friday, January the 16th. It's going down. That's not it. Let's get it. First Sky Omaha. In the morning. Money. And welcome, welcome, welcome. Appreciate you guys joining us this morning. It is a Friday, man. It doesn't feel like a Friday. It kind of feels like a Monday to me a little bit. But it is Friday. We appreciate you coming through. And yeah, this is season 4B. Follow the money with us, First Sky Omaha in the morning. And
In the morning.
yeah, my bad. And just getting fired up, man. We got a lot going on this season, and we're trying to make some upgrades, make some changes. If there's any technical difficulties, I know that you, the chat chimers, will let us know. We appreciate you coming through this morning and letting us know how we look, how we sound, and also what we're talking about. This is a conversation with you, so we want to find out what kind of news you think is important, and as we bring out some of the things that we pulled aside as well. And shout out to everybody who put stuff in Friends of First Sky Omaha, the group page on Facebook. That's where we get a lot of the ideas as well. So before we get rolling, buddy, how you doing this morning?
Man, I'm doing good. Feeling all right. Feeling refreshed. Looking forward to this new season. Following the money. A lot to get into. So yeah, that's where my mind is. Looking forward to today's guest. Really, it's been a long time coming, but yeah, excited about that. Sister coming on to join us. But in the meantime, between time, how you doing, man? What's going on in your world?
I'm doing good. I finally got a little bit smidgen of sleep. So yeah. Imagine how just a little bit affects us. So we're feeling pretty good today, and also anticipate Melissa Wright. She's been a stronghold in the city for the last couple of years here, working over at KMTV Channel 3. And her time over there is up, as many of you have seen on Friends of First Sky Omaha and some of her posts. So we're going to finally get a chance to talk to her. You know, when they're under contract, you don't get a chance to really get deep. So finally, she's moved on past the job and is going to come and tell us about what's next. So we really hope that you stick around and get your questions ready and get the flowers ready for her too. She's doing good work.
That part.
Yep. I see the chat's going off already. Kimber Snipes says this a good morning. Appreciate you coming on in, man. Leia Keister's back with the yippee skippies. Buddy,
your turn.
Feel like tackling that one?
Okay, I'll jump on it. Happy Fry, yippee yo, yay, yip yo, yippee, yay, yip yo.
Man, you got some sleep last night, I see.
I did.
I can tell.
Yeah, it gets the brain going.
I can tell. Appreciate that. Pops in the chat says good Friday morning and mad love from Las Vegas. Appreciate you, Pops. Saw your post yesterday about getting off of social media. So I kind of wanted to talk about that a little bit today too, with all the reports that we get out about how you get tracked these days with your social media. You got to watch what you say. They're looking back 5 years, all kinds of stuff.
Man,
in the midst of this fascist regime, the stuff that's going on here around here, that's part of it, the information bottlenecking. And not just to mention that, just also the mental strain that you have keeping up with everything on all the social media channels. As you know, we just came off of a winter break where we take about a month off. And I specifically tried to not look at so much at the feeds.
Man.
Since we have to do it all year to have this show to talk about things, you can imagine. I don't know if you even think about that, but the information overload and the what you got to do to juggle all the news every single day, keep up with it and talk about it is a lot. So we have to assign ourselves breaks. How's your break work, buddy? Do you assign yourself breaks during the season?
No, I just work. Trying to juggle. I try to, but just so much on my plate between running this, pursuing a dream in the music industry, raising 3 children. Breaks sound good. But as far as the social media side of it, you did spark a thought of something that I hadn't really thought about social media, and might lead to the need for at least breaking from that. As far as this concept of surveillance capitalism, this was actually something that was discussed on Democracy Now! Maybe we don't get into it now, but a little later on in the show, talk about that, especially as we follow the money, the economic side of what's going on social media. The adage goes, if the platform is free, then you're the product. So what does that mean? What does that mean? What does that look like, especially in light of all this ICE stuff going on? Yeah, we'll be getting into all of that.
Absolutely. In the meantime, I see Judy Prinzler in the chat saying, "Hey friends, good morning. Appreciate you coming on in." Michelle Moreno's in the chat saying good morning. Also, Marlon Harrison says good morning, First Sky family, and happy TGIF to everyone.
Hey,
It doesn't feel like Friday to me right
now. It doesn't.
No.
Says, Wednesday. I don't know.
Say what?
Maybe because we started on Wednesday. Yeah.
That's the only thing I can think of because it. I'm like, this ain't Wednesday. Also, Marlon says, make sure y'all have live chat set up, all messages instead of top messages. Yeah. When you go back and check it out, especially, yeah. Sometimes in Friends of, I'll go look and we read a lot of the chat that's happening on the subjects over there, and yeah, sometimes I got to make that switch. Sometimes it's only gonna show me certain messages. I'm like, no, I need to see all the conversation.
Yeah, man.
So, yeah, good point. Roscoe Wallace in the house. Good morning.
Hey.
Good morning, dear brothers. How you doing, man? Good morning. Sue Kessler Hagen gives us a good morning. Appreciate you guys coming in this morning. We're going to jump right into a little bit of community updates that's happening. First of all, if you see my camera glitching, you ain't got to tell me about it. I already know. I already see it. I'm getting my max headroom on today. I don't know what's happening with this camera. But it's always some tech. It takes us 3-4 shows to roll the tech out each season. So yes, bear with us, bear with me on that. First and foremost, just want to shout out to our friends over at OEAAs. This is coming up. A lot of work being done right now for the Omaha Entertainments and Arts Awards. It's going to be the 20th annual, so it's kind of a landmark award show this time around. And there's some themes that are going to be recognized, or themes that are going to be followed here when it comes to that. Just kind of looking back at the past, how things got started. Some of the previous winners will be some of the announcers. Lots of things going to happen for this, and we really encourage you to get your tickets early on this one. You can go to oeaa.com. Let's see, OEAA. Now I'm spacing the website. OEAA. Let me see. I'm gonna find it real quick. OEA-awards.org.
There we go.
Yep. Definitely go over there and get your tickets because it's going to be at the Admiral, so it's limited seating over there. And I think this is one that's going to really get packed. I'll put that in the chat for you to check it out. But shout out to all the work that's being done over there, OEAAs. They're really kind of grinding, getting things together. And of course, it's a volunteer board really over there. So it's people who are working their jobs, taking care of their kids, and dealing with everything that's going on in our society right now, on top of trying to bring a little joy with the OEAAs. So shout out to everybody who's a part of that in a big way. Also, the Nebraska Democratic Party Black Caucus is putting a social together. This is Black and Latino Caucus getting together on January 17th. So shout out to the young Democrats that are putting this together. They're trying to get together now, 6 to 9 on the 17th. I have to give you the address on this. I thought the address was on this flyer, but it's not. So I'll grab the address and put that in Friends of First Sky Omaha. But be looking out for that, because I'm loving when the different caucuses get together, especially the young folks, because this is where things get built. So get ready for the socials that are coming up. This is a election season, and there's going to be lots to talk about when it comes to that. And people are trying to get together now. We have a series coming up called 6 to Dismiss, thanks to Precious McKesson.
Hey.
And there's going to be some rallies here for some people to get into some seats and to get other people out of them seats. So shout out to the power of the youth getting together here on this social coming up. Like I said, we'll get you the wins and wheres on Friends of First Sky Omaha coming up shortly. One more, I got this from Tall Twin, man. Home ownership resource workshop is this Saturday on the 17th from 12 to 4 at the church on purpose. I've been hearing about this spot. I think Jakeem Fox told me about it once. That's at 5190 Sprague Street in Omaha. And the caption that came with this flyer was, home ownership is within your reach. It's not as tough as you think it is. Come and get some pointers. Check out the workshop. There'll be some people that you can talk to that you can ask some questions to. You can sit down with home ownership experts and have a little conversation, figure it out. I mean, it's worth it. Even if down the line you're looking at buying a home, maybe not right this minute, but down the line, it's good to have this kind of information and figure out where the resources are for these types of things. And that's so yeah, I definitely highly encourage this. Again, I'll put this in Friends of First Sky Omaha so you can get the details on that, but definitely check it out. And as a matter of fact, this might be something that we put in our resources page. We got a
Yeah.
resources page that we're launching on our website. It's already up and running, and housing is one of the categories there. So housing, everything from people who need emergency housing, to try to jump out and get out, or people who are even houseless right now. Resources there. We'll be working with Tamara Dwyer from the city on some of those resources, but and it's the spectrum. It's up to home ownership. If you're in a situation where you want to find you are able to own a home, let's go ahead and get this information. So we'll put that in Friends of First Sky Omaha and also on the resources website. And you see there that if you have any questions, you can call 402-415-9901.
Hey.
Yeah. So it's going down, man. It's going down. One more, of course, we have to shout out the Empowerment Network for putting the 19th annual State of North Omaha together. This is coming up in a couple weeks. This will be January 24th from 8 to 12:30 over at the Swanson Conference Center. Definitely check that out. We talked about this the other day. Lots of the heads that are on this flyer. I'm just like, man, they got all the leaders in the city coming through here. So definitely check this out. Register. We'll put the you can scan the QR code, or you can go to that website and register. We'll put the website up on Friends of First Sky Omaha as well, and that'll do it for the that right now. Except for MLK's birthday just passed us, and of course this MLK Day on the 19th.
Yep.
There seems to be a lot of stuff going on for that. MLK celebration events are happening everywhere. Let us know which ones you're going to. I know that there's a big one at the Durham that everybody's going to as well. But here's one at the Omaha Douglas Civic Center Legislative Chambers. Aspire to Inspire 2026. It's an employee celebration. And so there's a few things that are happening around town, and we want to hear from you if you're going to go to any of the MLK celebrations. Love to hear about that if you did. Clarice Jackson is in the chat giving us a hello. I appreciate you. She says, good to be back in the loop this morning. Appreciate that. Yeah, thank you. We're happy to be back. Happy that you're back on with us. And that's awesome. Kimmer says Jonathan Chapman from the Empowerment Network is the pastor at the Church on Purpose. Okay. We're hearing more about the Church on Purpose. Yeah, lots of young folks will go to that one, I heard.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think I did see Jakeem posting about that. He recently became a member, if I'm not mistaken. Also, a shout out to Sister Clarice Jackson. If I'm not mistaken, I think I saw you doing a seminar again. Black literacy still going on.
That's coming up. I got it primed up for it's happening in March, I believe. Am I right? March or April?
Let us know.
Let us know. Yeah,
all about Black literacy, man. Definitely. Yeah. Big ups to you on that. Keep pushing that line. Yeah,
that's right. Before we get to the thread, I just want to give a shout out to my man, brother Kasim. He says, "Peace, fellas." He is in the chat right now. Appreciate you coming through this morning as well, bro. For those that are just joining us, this is season 4B. Follow the money. This is the second episode of the season, and we will be having a special guest come in. Man, I'm so happy to be finally able to talk to Melissa Wright.
Man, looking forward.
Formerly of KMTV Channel 3, the artist formerly known as.
Hey,
yeah, it's going down. It's going down. We'll be able to talk to her and hear what's next with her. And just kind of, man, come on through a little later on. Give her flowers because she did something I've never seen any reporter from a mainstream media source do, which is seriously ingratiate herself into the community in a big way, and gain the trust of the community, which is a huge thing. So let's definitely have a conversation with her when she comes through. Love to hear what's going on with her and what's next. And in the meantime, between time, what's going on? What's happening next, bro?
Yeah, try to get in these headlines here quickly. Again, appreciate y'all tuning in. We got, of course, things to talk about over the next couple of hours. Follow the Money is this season's theme. So we're going to be doing just that. Kind of starting with a little return on interest or investment, if you will, as far as what's going on with the Omaha police. And again, the people who are paying the Omaha police, the taxpayers, holding them accountable. Again, I definitely would like to hear from those who made it to Brother Leo Lewis and Sister Kimra, their meeting at the North Omaha Visitor Center. Looks like it was a few heads out there. Even the news was present. So again, let us know if you made it out, what your take on that was, and kind of dive into some of the coverage for that. Also, speaking of coverage, we definitely have to cover what's going on in the legislature. Again, the session is back in swing. 200 bills already being proposed. Again, we ended last session trying to wrap our heads around all of the hundreds of bills that went through, and now we have 200 more to try to get a grasp on it and really get in front of. So we'll be talking about that, and really throughout the season, kind of setting the stage for this season. As we mentioned, we have been in conversation with Senator Kavanaugh, Michaela Kavanaugh. Big shout out to her, who will be helping us. I believe she is a part of the Appropriations Committee on the state legislature. So getting an inside track on what exactly is going on with all of our tax dollars, because again, the state is broke. Again, our leadership have been a little funny with the money, so much so that actually Jim Pillen, Ellen Pillen, as we like to call him, Governor Pillen, has been called out for a possible favoritism type contract.
Man.
What say you? Millions of dollars going to friends in the middle of the state being broke? Yeah, we'll definitely talk about that and more, of course, following the money with all this ICE situation, as well as things continue to heat up in Minneapolis. Now another man has been shot in the leg by ICE a couple of days ago. Protests are still heating up. Where's all the money coming from? We're hearing these $50,000 bonuses, thousands of extra agents coming to areas being mobilized. Where is the money coming from? We'll talk about that and more throughout the next couple of hours. Of course, we'll also be joining our guest, Sister Melissa Wright, to talk about what she has going on and more. Of course, if there's anything on your hearts and minds, definitely drop that into the chat. As always, you know how we do here. Let your mind be free. Let your voice be heard. In the meantime, between time, Paul B.
Yo.
What's the word?
Man, I'd like to take a break, but ain't nothing ready. We'll see what we can do on that real quick. Stay tuned. We'll be right back and listening to First Guy Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
I'll be buddy to God. Stay tuned. We'll be right back, y'all.
Wake up. Yeah. Wake up. Wake up, 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 wake up. You better wake up from this dream. Life is not what it seems. This culture's not your reality. You better unplug or be a casualty. Cause the life that we lose in the drug and improving is keeping us off from our greatness. We gotta spread the love and stop hating. Then rearrange these front pages. From murder and death to building our wealth. Removing the stealth. Milking the game till there's nothing left. And teaching my people to love themselves. I'm crashing on competition. That's an interference with the commission. Man, we tired of listening, so we said enough. Unification amongst us. Wake up, 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 wake up.
Welcome back. I still need a little wake up. Welcome back. First Guy Omaha in the morning. Shout out to Brother Sherman Wells, always waking us up on the early in the morning, man. We're happy to be back over here on the channel for you Monday, Wednesday, Friday. If you're just joining us, season 4B is Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 7 to 9. We haven't changed the dates or the times. And we just hope that you tell a friend, join us. Really appreciate everybody coming on in and getting busy with us on these conversations. This season we will be the theme is follow the money, but we will of course be talking about everything that's related to all those things, which is all the subjects that we always talk about. So we appreciate that. We would like to get to some points of figuring out some solutions this season and really kind of organizing and getting together and putting people in motion. This is going to be a very special year because this is an election year that's going to be pretty important for us in our state. And at the same time, this is our follow the money season. And I really want to find out what it means when you get people in seats. What does that mean for your money? That's a question that's going to permeate my whole season here, because I want to, we got to understand that this is all to shift loot around is really what the biggest job of all these politicians that are coming in. That's what this is for. So what does this mean? What does this mean when certain people get in certain places? Buddy earlier in the headlines talked a little bit about the fact that money goes to law enforcement. We're the ones that pay for that out of our taxes. So who's in the seats deciding that our money goes there is of great concern to us. Man. So it's all connected, and I think that this season hopefully we'll be able to get together and do something about getting the right people in that want to be on our side about where we want our dollars to go, and how those dollars come back to us as well. Very important thing.
Yeah, man.
Yep. I see Brother Anthony Rogers right in the chat. I appreciate you coming through this morning. Also, Michael Lee giving us a good morning, y'all. He says favoritism in doling out money in Nebraska. that never happens, especially not in North O. Okay, so bringing up some stuff other than Pillin, which we'll get to here a little bit later. That was the article was about him showing some favoritism. We'll see about that.
Yes,
Also,
sir.
let's forget another government shutdown may happen at the end of the month. Yeah, we talked about this last show. Another government shutdown may happen at the end of the month if nothing gets passed in the House of Senate. Shake my head. Yep.
Yeah,
Some
man.
things hanging over our heads. Also, Ariel's 402 saying, hit the like button. Appreciate you coming on in. Mary Sanchez, where you at in the world?
Let
Appreciate
us
you
know.
coming through this morning. Let us know. And thank you for everybody who's joining us this morning. Tell a friend, share the show on your page if you would. Like and subscribe over at YouTube and all that good stuff. I hate saying like and subscribe. I really hate saying like and subscribe. Hit the bell.
Really?
Bro, it's such a. I watch. I don't know about y'all, but I watch a lot of YouTube. That's pretty much the only channel I watch, unless I'm gonna watch a movie or something on
More and more.
whatever else I got. I guess Apple. I don't think I got anything but Apple TV and Paramount maybe. So no, I got rid of Paramount too, didn't I? So yeah, I watch a lot of YouTube, and I'm finding that that's just a natural state of where I get a lot of the information from YouTube, from the news on YouTube, but also from bloggers on YouTube. And so yeah, so those particular phrases make me mad, but it does make me think about like how active YouTube is. This is people that are up to the moment with what's going on, and that's why I find myself getting a lot of information from there, and seeing a lot of things we can't see.
Man,
Following pages that aren't being governed.
we're gonna have to get into it. You kind of mentioned earlier, with Pops getting, talking about getting off of social media. And as we continue to follow the money, the media landscape is changing in itself. Again, major players like YouTube and Netflix rising to the top. And what does that mean about information in general? Not just our favorite shows and movies and music, but just information in general and how we get it, how it's controlled. Is it being monopolized? Is it being centralized? And we'll definitely get into that side of it maybe later on in the show, but before then I wanted to get into something that's tested, proven throughout time, and regardless of what's happening in the internet or sphere, it never beats just meeting in person. It never beats face to face, coming together in a space and just having a conversation with people in your community. I mean, you can't beat that.
Especially not now.
Especially not now, man, especially with AI, who's really in the room, for real. So again, big shout out to Sister Kimra and Brother Leo Lewis, who did just that. Again, they brought people together to have Sister Kimra in the chat correcting me, not a meeting, but a conversation. She said it was a discussion. 60 people came out, including KMTV3, who covered the conversation, the discussion. I don't want to call it a meeting, but again, big shout out to everybody who showed up. If you in the chat showed up, would definitely like to hear your firsthand account, your take on the situation. But again, this conversation centered around one of the public's biggest investment. Let's just call it what it is. When we look at the city's budget, and again, all of the tax dollars that go into the city, all of the bills and things that we pay to fund this city, a large percentage of that is going to the police. Again, that's a whole nother conversation as far as defunding the police and all this, that, and the third. But this particular meeting was talking about the relationship between the community and the police, and really the detriment that the police have been doing to that relationship with their social media posts and mocking what a lot of people are saying, criminals. And again, this permeates kind of the larger conversation of, just the attitude towards such a quote unquote crime. Let's just call it what it is. Even, what's happening with the ICE situation and what's happening with these social media posts from the Omaha Police Officers Association. Just the idea, I mentioned it on Wednesday, that if you're a criminal, if you break the law, regardless if it's a civil or criminal law, then you deserve whatever treatment that you get. You deserve to be mocked. You deserve to be humiliated. You deserve to be brutalized. You deserve to lose your humanity. And that's pretty much what this action and these acts from the Omaha Police Officers Association say. Again, the meeting at the North Omaha Community Center was co-facilitated by Sister Kimra Snipes, again, a North Omaha native, which is interesting because she frequently says she's from South Omaha, but, here's KMTV for you.
Hey, they tried.
They tried. But again, Snipes said the gathering was organized after, of course, she recognized someone in the OPOA Facebook post, a community member she knew who works with young people. And she says, when I started reading it, I was just really disappointed because it was just humiliation. It was just mockery. And I just couldn't understand it, although I have seen a history of that on that particular page. Of course, many of us in the chat now have seen those posts, are familiar with the Omaha Police Officers Association. But again, it takes conversation. Again, we're funding this. Who's policing the police? It's still a question that needs to be answered. And again, big ups to not just Sister Kimra and Brother Leo, but again, the 50 plus citizens who showed up and spoke out and had their voices heard. Paul B, what say you?
Yeah, I see a chat timer RG in the chat, man. I was looking,
Hey,
hey, fam in the house. That's what's up. I appreciate
squad.
the squad, man. Yeah, it was a good turnout. And a lot of people showed up there, and I saw all the material and the pictures there. It's one of those things I was like caught up myself, and I was like so mad I didn't get to go. But lots of heads turned up. It seems like a really great conversation. I was really anxious to hear about what happened in that conversation, and if there was anything that came of it. Is there any action to be taken? Maybe if Kimmer, you're still in the snipes, you can. I'm sorry, Kimmer, if you're still in the chat, you can. You can help us to understand that a little bit better. So I appreciate that. She says in the chat right now, she's saying absolutely, buddy, and that's the reason why we let people know that even though they are their own entity and city leadership has no control over them, they still don't operate in a damn vacuum. He ain't lying.
Hello.
Man, she says we also have had letter writing for Justin Coleman, who goes to court on the 22nd. He was the first person mocked and humiliated. Love to see that. That's the action that we're talking about. We can meet. We can talk about it. What we're gonna do? Well, first of all, let's make sure our brother's okay. So I appreciate you guys writing the letter. She says, well, technically, I was born in North Omaha, but yeah, they also referenced me as a school board member, which I am never. She says, which I never even mentioned, and the chat's going off here, and they call it the North Omaha Community Center. Okay. Also, she says, I'm more than happy to come on and tell you the exact conversation. Yes, please do. That was happening. There were a series of questions asked of the whole group, and then we had small groups. I saw the breakout sessions there, so that's what's up.
Oh, okay, nice.
Appreciate that. Yep. Michelle Moreno says it was a great turnout. She said left, right. When they were breaking into groups for discussions, I had to pick up my son from work too. But glad that you made it and you got to be a part of that as well. Appreciate that very much. Shout out, good morning to Emily Walker. Appreciate you coming through. And yeah, man, just really appreciate that you through that meeting. It was something that we were really feeling. The whole community was really upset about it. They put out posts about other people that weren't black that were just what weren't derogatory in the same way that they were doing us. And it was really, really ridiculous. And I felt like they kind of doubled down on it too. They kind of, when they were asked for a comment, they were like, "We're going to continue to use social media to stop all these criminals," and not really acknowledging the fact that this is what they've been doing and this is the attitude. But Kimberly, you said it best. This came up when you said it best to me. You said, for all the ways that we're trying to build relationship between the black community and the police, this is not how you do it. You don't. You have to have some mutual respect. You don't build no trust by mocking people in the way that you do, and it's unacceptable.
Furthermore, what about innocent until proven guilty? Like where's that? Where's that? And also, if any of these situations have to go to court or have to go to trial with the jury, putting out these kind of social media posts kind of
ways that.
Yeah. And I'm seeing, I think that's not sure. Penalone one in the chat says, isn't there an issue of the First Amendment? I don't sanction that what OPOA does with their social media, but it's their right to be jerks. It would be nice to hear the mayor publicly say that it's not.
I was thinking that too. I would love to hear the mayor have something to say that. Go ahead.
I would too. But on the issue of freedom of speech, I hear that, but at the same time, an official organization like the OPOA putting this type of rhetoric out, I think is a problem.
Definitely. Anybody position of power that is misusing their power by mocking folks they're not what's up, and it's actually undermining the efforts of the police to do so. Even Tosh Schmatter said that. Penalone one is Anthony Rogers, right, buddy? By the way.
Okay.
But yeah, I would definitely like to hear that. We all know that the mayor is a former police officer. How does he feel about it? I kind of feel like the police department, the mayor, are not really with that kind of rhetoric as well. I don't know how much they will defend that stuff. But first of all, definitely needs to stop. And I'm glad that we're starting with having a conversation about it. That Kimmer Snipes and Leo Lewis put together this conversation. And first of all, I want to kind of shore up the people that have been humiliated. So shout out to y'all for the letter writing. The first thing that they need to know is that there's a community behind them. You can make a mistake without getting these jabs at you from the people who are in positions of power, people that can put you in jail in the first place. It's just really ridiculous. But I'm almost glad it happens. I want to know what they think. I want to know the lack of respect. I want to know how much. Right, exactly. So very unfortunate. I'm anxious to see what's going on. Yes, Kimmer, we will definitely have you on the show to talk a little bit about that conversation as well, and also to hear the progress on what's going on there. I don't think it's going to change in the way they do anything, but it definitely will help the people really understand that, and maybe the people will decide that they'll speak up and say, hey, you guys got to stop this. It's not helpful, at all.
And to kind of wrap this one up, excuse me, I appreciate what Kimmer is saying as far as what the issue really is, not to get wrapped up in the social media posts and just kind of the absurdity or just outright unprofessionalism of it all. She says it's bigger than the offense, though. The discussion took it from offense to the impact on public safety, and not just public safety, but recidivism, the impact on the police as well, and impact on community and other systems. She says further up, we also started the discussion by naming what we can control and what we can't control, saying we can't control what OPOA does with their Facebook page at this level. So that was not the focus. So I appreciate you put things in perspective as far as, again, not really trying to police their social media posts, because, again, Brother Anthony Wright is right, right to the point of freedom of speech. That is something that we do support here, whether we agree with you or not. But again, the community relation and what that means for public safety. And again, let's just call it what it is, the good old 13th documentary, and viewing the community as criminals, and the relationship between criminality, policing, and slavery and freedom. Just call it what it is.
And it really is tied to what's going on in our current administration and in the current state of the country and things that are going on. Minneapolis and other places, they really are not. They're othering people in a big way. They're making people out to be criminals. Trump is talking about bringing in the National Guard to Minneapolis because he's calling these people, these protesters, the people that are out there peacefully protesting, he's calling them insurrectionists,
domestic terrorists.
Right. So this rhetoric about criminals and what criminal behavior is and how you're supposed to be treated, it can start with some of the stuff that we're talking about here in our city, but it can end up in the way that is ending up in Minneapolis right now. So,
which is the infuriating part is, like, let's keep in mind that this man has been convicted of 30 plus crimes. Like, when we're talking about criminals, so let's be honest, none of this is about criminality. None of this is about criminality. None of this is about people's ability to follow laws at all.
I felt the buddy blast coming. I had to big you up there.
It's just, anyway, let's take a break.
Before we do that, I want to give a shout out Emily Walker in the chat. New name, I appreciate you coming through. Says it is so unprofessional. How do they not see that? And discussing it. I can't believe our law enforcement can operate this way on social media. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Like I said, I think there's even some division within law enforcement that they that's something that ought to be done there. Something that's some rhetoric there. She also says they're trying to be funny like Omaha Scanner, and it's not a good look. I'm glad you called that out.
Nope.
For sure. I appreciate everybody in the chat. I'm not going to get to all of it. Pops says, as to innocent until proven guilty, ask the small boat owners in the Caribbean. That concept went out when Trump came in. I think it went out even before that, Pops, but it's really showing its ugly head now for sure. Your judge, jury, and executioner is what's going on these days right now, and it's messed up.
Man.
Yeah.
Man, that's That's really it. The whole judge, jury, and executioner vibe. Like that's which goes back to the slave catchers. You didn't make it to court. They hung you right there. Let me see your papers. Yeah. Let me spread it out. We still got an hour and a half.
We do. We'll take a quick break and we'll come right back. Once again, you're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul B. He's Buddy to Gawd. If you're in the chat, you're a chat chimer. If you're not in the chat but you're listening, you're a ghost listener.
Hey.
And if you're in certain groups that are just trying to peep out what's going on, you're what we call a monitoring spirit. And we're happy that you're here too. Stay tuned. We'll be right back, y'all. Welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul B. He's Buddy to Gawd. We appreciate you guys coming through, man. Chat's going off. We're getting back to the conversation. I appreciate you guys coming through. And also just a reminder for everybody that's coming in new, we have a different kind of chat. Our chat is not like normal chats. We actually speak to most of these people on a regular basis. We call them the First Sky Omaha fam. We call them chat chimers because they're always chiming up in the chat. And we've kind of tried to set the tone for some respectful dialogue and back and forth. And just want to reiterate that for this season as well. I appreciate everybody who has done that. We're not always going to get to every part of the chat, but we really appreciate you coming in and being a part of the conversation. This is a platform where you can speak some of the things. We are asking you about what's on your mind too. We want to know what's news to you as well. But we ask that you do it in a way that we can all consume and it not just be a person's a person coming in and taking over the show. So we appreciate the conversation that we're having here, the dialogue that we're having here with each other. We treat the chat as if we are speaking to each other face to face, and that's the tone in which that we are that we've set in order for us to have these conversations. So anybody who's in the chat, as a matter of fact, we got a special guest coming up. When the special guests come through and you want to ask questions, you can ask questions directly to the guest. The guest is usually always checking out the chat as well. So again, we treat the chat as if we're speaking to each other face to face, and that's the rule around here. If it gets out of hand, I'll ask people to take it outside, and that means, go off into each other's inbox and have the conversation. Not show disrespect here on the channel. No one is. I'm just reiterating what's going on for the new listeners for the new season. Again, this is season 4B. Follow the Money. We just started last Wednesday, I guess, was our first show of the season, and we're going to go all the way until June 15th for this season. We got a lot to talk about during this year. As a matter of fact, the election season that's coming up, and also the theme, Follow the Money. We really want to understand what happens to your dollars, what happens to your money when somebody gets elected. What does that seat mean for our economy? What does it mean for your tax dollars? What do all those things mean? They're just these politicians are here so that they can control the money and the flow of money and what happens in the city and how it works. They decide they go put some money in a pothole, fixing the potholes around here, or if they're going to put the money in salt in the streets. That's kind of like the mayor's territory. So what does the governor do? How does federal dollars affect us these days? Do we have a state that accepts federal dollars for programs and things that we might need in our neighborhoods? These are all questions that we're going to try to tackle and get through with other ideas as well. Because Follow the Money is not just figure out where that money's coming from, but also how we can manage our own, what we can do to build wealth, and so on and so forth. So yeah, just wanted to make sure that you understood that, and we'll continue from there. And in this round of discussion, we'll be talking about that a lot. Also, we'll be talking a lot about media. And there's, all the things that are going on now. There's money that's going to a lot of these groups in order to oppress us. One of the arms of that has to do with media. How do people control the narrative And the reason why we have this show and the reason why we partner with other alternative groups is so that we can fight that narrative. There's going to be a lot of discussion about that. As a matter of fact, our special guest that's coming up here very shortly is coming from the mainstream media scene, and we can talk to her about that as well. Fellow news gang person, Melissa Wright, that we finally get a chance to talk to now that her time at KMTV is up, and she'll be coming on shortly. But before we get to that, just want to kind of set a few things up, buddy. Where you at over there?
Yeah. Well, you kind of threw a lot at us, but definitely touching on some of those things. I appreciate you setting up the question about the elected officials and how that impacts our bottom line. As I mentioned at the top of the show, the session just started, and we actually have just under a week for bills to be introduced in this shortened session. Again, this year's session will only be about 60 days, but again, legislators have until January 21st to introduce all the bills that they will introduce in this round. So far, a total of about 250 bills have been introduced. And again, while it's not always, sexy or very hard to understand or very easy to understand, again, a lot of bills get wrapped up into one. They kind of intentionally make these things confusing, so we don't know where the money is going at the end of the day, where the hundreds of millions of dollars are being invested, being diverted, being cut from, and being sent to. So we'll definitely continue to keep our eyes on that and those bills throughout this session. A few of the bigger ones to look out for, of course, is the ICE situation, and not just the pressure, the oppression that the community is feeling from ICE, but the economics of it all. Still trying to figure out what the state's contract is with the Department of Homeland Security, what the agreement for the McCook Center or the Cornhusker Clinic, as they're calling it. What are the economics behind that? Exactly how much is the state making? I asked the question, how much does the state have to, keep? How many bodies does the state have to keep in this facility? As we know, a lot of these prison contracts have occupancy requirements with this, which means, again, human trafficking. Let's just call it what it is. So again, shout out to Senator Margot Juarez, who introduced Bill 907, which again deals with prohibiting law enforcement officers from entering community safe spaces to enforce immigration law. As we've seen, schools, hospitals, just about anywhere, ICE agents have found their ways in and brutalized the people. Of course, homeless encampments. Again, shout out to Sister Tamara Dwyer. We've been speaking with her. Again, she's working with the city as their homeless coordinator. But LB 925 looks to deal with that issue statewide. Again, State Senator Bob Anderson of Sarpy County proposes Bill 925 for safe parks and public spaces. Again, talked about this heavily in the season of Spaces of Place. And when you think about the economics of it all and what's going on with this ICE situation, and again, occupancy rates, some of the easiest bodies to fill these prisons with are homeless people. Again, when we talk about undocumented, we don't really think about our houseless brothers and sisters, but many of them might not have access to their birth certificates. Many of them might not have the documents that they need to prove their citizenship. So when we talk about undocumented individuals, our houseless brothers and sisters kind of fall in that as well. And then, of course, as I mentioned earlier, definitely looking at what's going on with appropriations. $400+ million deficit the state is facing, and will the legislature try to build their way out of it? Will we see more cuts in appropriations? Again, we'll keep our eyes on all of that throughout the next really 60 days. So again, big shout out to the senators Terrell McKinney and Ashley Spivey. Put some respect on their name for, again, agreeing to join us for our Senator Cipher throughout the season. And then also looking forward to speaking with Senator Michaela Cavanaugh, who is a part of the Appropriations Committee, who will be able to give us an inside track on where some of these bills and some of this money is going. We'll be talking about some of that later on in the show. Actually, speaking of Senator Cavanaugh, again, big shout out, Governor Pillen being audited, again, favoritism being called out, millions of dollars exchanging hands in the midst of the state being broke. So what does that mean? We'll talk about all that and more. But in the meantime, between time, I think our special guest is teeing up, getting ready. What we looking like, Paul?
Yeah, we're looking like that. Before we get to that, just want to give a shout out to everybody who's in the chat. I see Tamara Dwyer in the chat right now saying Sarpy County Senator, a place with no shelters, wild. One of those bills that are being pushed right now that they're fighting is a bill from someone who is has something to say about these houseless people as he's in a city in an area that has no shelters for people. It's kind of a trip.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that we know that this is coming up. I saw the ACLU do their legislative report card, and I think that made me say, "Hey, we need our report card too." This report card kind of shows bills we oppose. It's laying out so you don't forget what that is. Also, other bills they oppose. There's also bills that they support. So these kind of report cards are really great. Senator Terrell McKinney puts his out too. Some of the bills that he's pushing. But this is something that inspired me to say, well, let's break some of these hundreds of bills down here and figure out what's what, figure out what we think about them, put our own report card together, and really kind of understand where we're going with all of these things and what we think about them and what we're going to fight, what we're going to put together. It's the first line of information gathering for the action of going down to the legislature and calling your legislator and fighting or opposing bills. So we'll look into that more as we go. But in the meantime, between time, yes, it is about 7:45 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, we're going to take a really quick break, and then we're going to come back, and our special guest, Melissa Wright, is going to join us. Stay tuned for her. Get your questions ready. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Be right back, y'all. Welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul B. He's Buddy the Gawd, and we got Melissa Wright in the house. Good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Do I sound okay?
You sound just fine, loud and clear.
Yep. Coming through clear. Camera's looking right.
Awesome.
And you were looking extremely professional this morning.
Yeah. Almost looking like Judge Wright.
Yeah. And I snoozed a few times just to make sure I was on time.
That's what's up. Appreciate you getting up early with us. I know that you're used to getting up early over there at KMTV. You've probably been doing a lot of sleeping in, so I'm glad that you're here now. So.
Yesterday was Founders Day too. Oh. So yeah, my first.
Your first Founders Day, okay.
Founders.
Yeah. Congratulations. I saw that across an AKA. Yes.
Thank you.
Tell us about your alma mater. Where'd you go to school?
Okay, so I got my bachelor's at the University of Houston in journalism. And then you could choose if you wanted to focus on broadcast or newspaper. I chose broadcast. And then I went to Texas Southern University for a year.
HBCU?
HBCU, right across the street from University of Houston. I love Texas Southern, but it was always so hard because UH is such a mega school. And like we could hear their football games from like across the street. And we'd be like, dang, we don't even have a football team, our own football stadium. So I actually had a great academic counselor there, and he went to Columbia, the Ivy League in New York, and he was like, you should get your master's. Like my freshman year when I met him, he was like, you don't need it for what you're saying you want to do, but it would never hurt you. Like it's yours forever. Doors will open just because you have a master's degree. So he really wanted me to go to Columbia as I got further in my undergrad journey. And I was just like, I don't know if I can do Ivy League. I don't know if I want the pressure of Ivy League. So we settled on New York University, which is also a great university.
Settled.
We settled on New York University. I mean, it's like a little baby Ivy League, great and known for their arts and all that stuff. So I got my master's in broadcast journalism there too. And because New York University is known for just like their journalism and their arts, there were just so many programs you could do. If you wanted to do documentaries, if you wanted to do newspaper, podcasts, television, producing. So I went into the Reporting the New York and the Nation program. And that was just like really the beginning of actually understanding how journalism worked, because in undergrad, it's lighter and they're not really expecting everyone to go into that field, especially once you see like the sacrifices of having to move to places you don't really want to move and not getting paid well until you make it, to where you really want to go. So
Interesting.
Man, so let's kind of talk about that. This season is follow the money. That's kind of where our focus is, and that was one of the things I picked up early on in undergrad in journalism as well. Was lucky enough to have a professor that actually showed us contracts and gave us an idea of what we will be actually signing when we graduated, and 20,000, 25,000 coming out, which in this economy is nothing. So what after knowing what you're getting into, what made you want to do this? What made you want to pursue this?
okay, 25,000 is crazy. Well, how many years ago was that?
So I graduated in 2016. So yeah, it's about 2015. So these are probably like 2012, 2013, 14 contracts I'm seeing.
Oh my
Which is
God.
still crazy for then.
Yep.
That is crazy. I don't know. I just had a passion for doing something. I know I've always wanted to have an impact, but I'm not good at like math or science. I knew I couldn't be like a nurse or a doctor or an astronaut. Like my parents, nipped that pretty quickly. But I think you can have an impact in anything you do. And my impact is really highlighting voices that aren't typically heard.
I love that. I want to get to that. For those of you that don't know who we're speaking to right now, she's now an Omaha legend.
Hey.
Whoa.
Melissa Wright is an Omaha legend, and so here's how it went. Back in 2000, what was it? 2016, 17, buddy. We got a chance to start a radio channel. We decided we needed to anchor it in news because the news was being so misrepresented by the mainstream. That we decided that we started that. It morphed into what we're doing right now, as a matter of fact, with First Sky Omaha. So we've had a hard time trusting mainstream media. Then along comes Melissa Wright, who came. This is 2 years ago now. It was 2 years ago when you got here, right? So in 2 years, she's changed our minds about what mainstream media can do because she dove into the city, the North Side. She was the North Side kind of correspondent, the reporter for the North Side. And came here just like a lot of other anchors, didn't know anybody in town and got to know people, and not just got to know people, but got to be trusted by people, which is the most important piece. We got to give some props to Channel 3 KMTV for putting this program, this neighborhood reporter program together so that she could focus on the neighborhood. But I definitely want you to tell us a little bit about some of the hardships that happened right in the beginning of you even trying to be trusted by this neighborhood. And some of the things that you had to overcome and do in order to do that, because I feel like it's an amazing feat that the whole rest of the country needs to be looking at. It doesn't happen with this 2-year model of reporters coming to town, young reporters especially coming to town and diving in, and it's almost like the 2 years limit is there so that you don't get so involved in the community.
Revolving door.
Right, revolving door type of situation. So tell us a little bit about like what the different situation you found yourself in here, if you would.
I mean, it was tough the first few months because when people don't trust you, you kind of take it personally. But I think in reality, like I'm Black. I know the relationship that Black people have with the media.
Right.
I mean, I remember during the George Floyd protest, I think I was getting my master's. My mom and my sister went to a few protests. And my sister was like to my mom, absolutely do not talk to the media, because they will spin what you say and you don't want to be without a job, and she's a nurse at a huge hospital in Southern California. And I remember I was a little bit offended. I was like, hey, we're not all terrible, but I get it. I mean, sometimes some journalists take what they can and that's the most compelling thing and they run with it. So I think when people didn't want to talk to me, and I told you this, Paul, like a few days ago, when people didn't want to talk to me, of course I was upset. Like now I have to start from scratch. But my response is like, it's okay. Like, here's my number. Call me anytime, just for them to feel comfortable. Like, you don't even have to call me if it's not news related. I'll answer the phone hoping it's news related. but we can just talk. I can help you with whatever you need resources for, and it doesn't have to be a news story. And I think people appreciate not feeling like, hey, you got to talk to me. Oh, she's calling. She needs something, you know. So the first few months were tough. And I think I got lucky because I met really important people in the community, and they liked me and they could tell that I was genuine. So, I mean, word goes far, especially in somewhere like Omaha where it's so small. But there were challenges with, I mean, when I came in, the neighborhood model was supposed to be to highlight. So I was like kind of pitched on it as, you know, North Omaha is an underserved community. We don't do a lot of reporting in North Omaha. We want you to come in and highlight the good and like be an expert in North Omaha. So I was like, okay, great. You know, the first like 6 months, it was really all good news. And then, I mean, companies change what they want all the time. The neighborhood model was new. They started this model in the smaller markets, and then they went to the medium-sized markets, and then the higher markets still aren't doing this. So, I mean, the first 6 months, it was pretty much good news. And then it became like, okay, we need something harder. We need harder news. And I'm kind of like, well, I don't want to do the hard news because it seems like it's always been hard news in North Omaha, you know? And like, people don't want to see that. And like, I've now created this brand of like, when you see me, I have good news for you, or I want to do a good story. And I was scared of that shift, but I think the shift came at the right time because even when it was bad news, people were still willing to speak with me because they knew I wasn't going to turn it into like, you know, something scary. It's always been scary and violent here when no, you know, or maybe, but there's a shift. It's not like that right now. And it hasn't been like that. So I think I also was able to use not being here, not being from here to my advantage because I'm coming in with, you know, no judgment. I really don't know anything other than what I see. So I think like people just really appreciated that as well, you know.
Definitely. I started to see a shift maybe about a year ago. Like as this was coming through, I started to see a little bit of. I can tell that there was stories that you had to cover. There were stories that they probably wanted you to cover, but then we started getting like phone calls from you, like, "Hey, I'm thinking about this thing. Maybe I want to do a story on it. Does anybody have any resources or something?" Like I saw you shift to this understanding of like what the community wanted and how that aligned with the things that you thought was important. And then you started kind of going after your own stories. And was there a process when you were understanding the situation around here more and pitching things? Were you getting pushback from the network? Was this now that your contract is up, I can ask you all the questions about KMTV now. Did you get pushback with some of the things that you were trying to report?
There was definitely a pushback, and I think there's pushback in any newsroom. And the higher you go, you get more pushback. So, I mean, I'm persistent, and when I would pitch something and it wouldn't get approved, I'd be like, so what do you think it needs? What is it missing? Okay, you need facts, so it's not considered speculation. You need facts, so it's not considered opinion-based. Okay, let me pull the facts, you know? So I think every great journalist needs to just stay persistent and don't get offended when things get denied, because that really doesn't help anyone just to give up on it.
Right. I feel that. Appreciate that. What's on your mind, buddy? I know I can see your wheels turning.
Yeah, the wheels are turning. Just a quick heads up. Just try to ignore the chat. I see chat's coming in.
Yeah. We forgot to tell you that.
Well, now I got to take a peek because you said.
But yes, if anybody in the chat does have questions, feel free to drop those in, and we'll try to get to them. But yeah, I am just kind of curious and just wondering. Like, I know for me, going into the direction of the neighborhood model, just felt revolutionary. It felt like this is a stride in the direction that we need to go in journalism to, focus hyper locally, to kind of get more nuance. I think is a big thing. And I'm just kind of curious from your perspective as somebody who, has gone through the master's programs and got, you know, in more in-depth understanding traditionally of what media is, and then coming out and actually, you know, getting into the field, exercising this model. What are your thoughts about, you know, the impact of that approach, having a neighborhood hyper local focus rather than, you know, a different approach?
Local news is fun, and depending on where you're at locally, it's a different impact. I grew up watching like NBC LA, which is LA local news, which is almost like national news with everything that goes on there. You know, I mean, there's almost nothing local about NBC LA. But I think being in Omaha and again in a medium-sized market, you still get to keep your creativity. You still get to know the people that you're actually interviewing by name. You might see them out somewhere. And I think that makes a difference all the time in your relationships and the storytelling aspect. When I know you, I'm even more so. I mean, I'm always careful with my words and how I portray things, but I know you personally. So I really don't want to hurt you in any way, or I don't want you to be disappointed after you see my story. So that approach is really cool when you're dealing with local news in a medium-sized market. And as far as grad school, I mean, like my like academic counselor said, like it's not necessary, but I think going into local news and the neighborhood model without grad school would have just been like a really hard transition. Because undergrad is just so much different. I mean, if you do the project, you'll probably pass because you put in a lot of effort, and it's like, okay, you know, you did good. But I mean, NYU really, I mean, they just did not play. And they, on the first day, I remember we got cameras, tripods, and I was like, so I got to lug this around the streets of New York City? And they were like, yeah, Melissa, you know, so yeah.
At the very least, you got to do
Right.
that.
I know. I was like, this is crazy.
I love that you're saying we do a thing called content creator camp, and one of our instructors is Chris Bowling over from Flatwater Free Press, and he
Baby
always
boy.
talks about that. Yeah, baby boy Bowling. He always talks about doing no harm. That's the first time I ever heard that phrase. Do no harm is kind of like what a lot of reporters do. So I really feel like do no harm in your case is even stronger because of the way that you are. Oh yeah, okay, sure. Do no harm is as a matter of fact, we were supposed to at 8:00, so I appreciate you bringing that back to my attention. Do no harm in your case is even more so because of the fact that you become a neighborhood reporter and got to know these people, and you really don't want to do harm to them with your story. So I love that. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back with some more conversation with Melissa Wright. It is 8:02 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, you're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
I'll be Buddy the Gawd. We'll be right back, y'all. Stay tuned. All right, welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning. I'll be Buddy the Gawd and Melissa Wright.
Hey.
Right on time.
Right on time.
Okay.
Appreciate you coming on through. I see a few people here in the chat. I see Linda Lathan giving us a good morning. Good morning, Linda. Nice to see your name there. Also, Sean McCarthy is in the chat saying, "I know there has been a ton of articles on print nonprofits. What's your opinion on broadcast nonprofits?" We'll be talking about that. That's a great question. We'll get to that, but before we do, just want to remind everybody we're speaking with Melissa Wright, who was the North Omaha neighborhood reporter at KMTV Channel 3. She's the former North Omaha neighborhood reporter. She is now not with Channel 3. We're going to, a little bit later on in the conversation, we got to get to what's happening next, and we'll talk about it a little bit. But before we get to that, I just want to remind people about the reason why we feel like we feel about you. You came to the city as a reporter from a mainstream network, and you ingratiated yourself into the community, and the community trusts you, which is one of the main things about this thing we do called news. And it was something that it was really impressive to us, and you were able to do that. You were able to talk to a lot of people. You mentioned earlier that you talked to some pretty important people in the city that happened to like you, and they kind of spread the word, and made it so that other people. I know that Brother Sherman Wells with Sermon where Sherman was one of them. Sherman Wells called up when he gave you the cosign, when he called us and said, yeah, no, I'm gonna speak to her and only her. I'm not even gonna talk to the other news group. He was mad at WOWT at the time too, really, really mad. So when he said that about you, he was like, if she got through with brother Sherman Wells, then she's doing something around here big time. So
man, I mean, it's an exercise in not being othered. You know what I mean? Like not being othered. You know, how many times do we have politicians, media, like how many times do we have people actually looking at themselves as a part of our community rather than just another story to cover to get their job done? Which I think is why you're getting the response that she's getting. You know, a lot of love in the chat, So
big time.
Again, go ahead.
I was just gonna say while she's getting her, I think she's stuck on the screen right now. While she's getting that taken care of, I did want to check out a couple of things from the chat. I see a new name in the chat, Royal Michael. She was great for Omaha, and I want to thank Melissa for her dedication and determination with the coverage of me and community volunteers for tackling the neighborhood trash and homeless population and clean up. Thanks once again. We're losing a great soul.
Man.
Well, she's definitely moving on to what she's going to do next, and we'll talk a little bit about that. I don't think we've lost Melissa Wright, because she's kind of determined that this is her second home now. She feels a certain way about Omaha, and even if she is leaving, which we don't know if she is yet, but we'll see. But even if she is, this will always be a place that she's grown attached to as well, in the way that we've grown attached to her. So. Shout out Delaney Thomas in the chat as well. A new name says, good morning. Looking gorgeous as always, Melissa. Right on. Kethro in the house.
Hey.
Yeah, man. Omaha legend, bro. For real. Like really changed some minds. I don't even know if she knows, but she's really changed some minds. Also a late arriver of Bad felt too good today. Oh, Bed felt too good today morning, y'all, bro.
RG.
You ain't got to say it. You ain't got to say that twice.
Man, hard to get up.
Heather Williams gives us a morning, everyone, and thank you, Melissa. Appreciate that very much as well. Also, Paul Philman is saying good morning, Melissa Wright, and showing some love. Anthony Rogers Wright says, so what's next for Sister Melissa, and who is going to be blessed with her talents next? Yeah, we'll have to talk about what's coming on next, but I don't want to focus on that too much, because we still are here making sure that we understand the impact that this sister has made and what it is that she has done for the community and just the whole nine. Just want to give her flowers too while she's here, because we don't know how long she'll be here. We'll have to see. Paul Philman says, thanks for your advocacy support for tenants of OHA.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get just thanks all over the place today from all the ways that you've impacted the city. So I really appreciate that. And I'm glad you're back. How you doing over there? You good?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I just heard a lot of choppiness. I heard a little bit about Sherman. Oh my gosh. We go way back now. We were not like this at first. But now that is my dude, something, it's just, and you don't always get to make relationships like that. So, I mean, news related or not. I know Sherman is someone that I can call, but if it's not news related, I'm kind of scared to call Sherman. I don't want to.
It's Big Sherman.
I can handle it. It's okay.
Big,
But
big term indeed. I really want to hear the story of that. But before we get to that, I know that there's a lot of people that are wondering what's next, and I don't want to hold them up. I know they're probably shuffling around trying to get out to work, get kids to school, and so on and so forth. So can we jump to that real quick, just to get it out of the way?
for sure.
Yeah,
So I'm not gonna say yet because I like a grand reveal.
that's right.
But I am going closer to home. It's in the Southwest region. I found out I have family there.
Okay.
Okay,
Um,
that always helps.
yes. So I'm just excited. I mean, people know me here as like the girl that's lugging around cameras and tripods and this and that. This next job, I get a photographer, an editor,
Some
um,
help.
yeah, some help. But that's not. Even when I was in grad school, they said, it's a one-man band from this point on. And
Mm-hmm.
they're just like photographers are really like the first to go from newsrooms. And we've seen a lot of cuts and positions like within the
Mm-hmm.
industry and just a lot of changes overall to
Right.
save and budget money better. So I mean it's really nice
Yeah.
to get a photographer. So I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, I'll have more once I get my headshot, but
Mm-hmm.
I've
Mm-hmm.
already signed the contract. I already
So
have some friends where I'm going, and I'm just
Okay,
excited.
locked in.
we don't care where you're going. We just mad that you're leaving. Uh Kimber in the chat says the only question I have, Melissa, how do we get you to stay? Seriously though, we just love you. Kimber, when you saw us the other day over at the visitor center, that was my mission. I was like, what can we do to make you stay?
Man.
Uh you know, a
I,
person go ahead.
I don't know if she caught the comment, and I was talking about making her like stay. I just wanted to reiterate, the appreciation that the chat is giving you, and that we have for you. I think comes from you joining the community and looking at yourself as a part of the community, and not othering us as a community. It seems like that's one of the biggest feelings is from mainstream media. We get treated as just another story, not human beings with nuance and lives and community. But to have somebody to see themselves as a part of our community, want to be a part of our community, and tell our stories from that perspective means the world. So I know you say you wanted to have an impact, and that's definitely one of the impacts that you had. And yeah, we're upset to see you leave, but wishing you the best. I did kind of want to get into a little media economics a little bit. You kind of mentioned newsrooms making cuts. We're seeing, just the media landscape changing, especially with last year with some of the mergers with CBS and some of the mega players. But also on the ground level, you're seeing more independent platforms pop up. Like shout out to Georgia Fort out of Minneapolis. Midas Touch, which is one of the larger ones, but they're still independent. Kind of, it sounds like you're still going towards the mainstream avenue. But I'm curious just how you feel about the landscape of media right now. Are you open to going the independent route? What are your thoughts?
Um, I mean, it's scary. Like you said, the merger. So my plan actually, I did want to stay in Omaha longer, but I knew that I wasn't going to stay more than probably 6 months if I stayed.
Mm,
And I have an agent, and he was like, you need to sign a 2-year contract like ASAP before
mm,
mergers continue to happen because
Mm.
once mergers happen, they start cutting jobs and they want the most experienced reporters. So I only have 3 years, and yeah, I have grad school, so we slap on 5 years on there, but they're really looking at the 3 years you have in a newsroom.
mhm,
So, I mean, that just plays a role in decision making. I'm pretty traditional, and that's why I was the first neighborhood reporter hired,
mhm,
knowing going into the model, knowing that was what I was going to do, and I'm the first to leave. I mean, it's great, but it's not traditional. And when I was applying to jobs, like something I kept getting pushback on was that we don't go live, we don't do live shots.
Mm.
And that's just not traditional. And it's appealing to our company. Um, but if you're trying to get to national news or you want to make a bigger jump to a top 10 market, I mean, it's really hard to get there when you can't ab lib off, like on camera,
mhm,
just off what you see. So I knew I needed to make a transition from the company and the station. I need to do it fast before these mergers continue to impact, baby journalists,
Hmm.
that are
Mhm.
just starting, you know.
And you also you wanted to go somewhere where you're going to get the experience of live. So you didn't get the experience of going live this last 2 years with Channel 3, unfortunately. And you still want to go somewhere where you can get that experience in order to further in your career. It makes sense. Makes
Yeah.
sense.
And I'm really thankful for my next station and just the news director, because he knows kind of the challenges we've gone through with Scripps, and like Scripps News kind of seems like it's a little bit of an outsider company right now, because
Mhm.
everyone's looking at us like, what are they doing? Like everything's pre-recorded, they're not going live. I mean, they replay a lot of their stuff. And here we're thinking it's a genius idea. You're saving money. Your reporters might work a little less, but also it kind of seems like we're getting the shorter end of the stick,
Mm.
because I mean, nothing coming out of Washington D.C. or L.A., where I hope to be, is pre-recorded.
Mhm.
Journalists are out at all hours of the night getting video and speaking with people and at crime scenes, and we didn't do it often.
Yeah, that's
Mm.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And I'm kind of curious, just your own ambitions. Like, is that where you ultimately hope to spend the bulk of your career, is out on the scene, kind of breaking news? Do you hope to land an anchor job? Kind of what are your ambitions as a journalist?
I want to be an anchor. And before I came to Omaha, I was the morning and midday anchor at my Colorado station. But the thing about being an anchor is they really want you to have like 5 to 10 years of experience reporting.
Hmm.
Because if you can report and you can connect and you can find a story and you know what a story looks like, then you can read off a teleprompter so easy. And you can seem more relatable by reading off a teleprompter,
Hmm.
so much more easier when you've actually been out in the field figuring out what's what and who's who in the details of a story. So right now it's like I'm kind of doing my time, doing the heavy lifting to
Hmm.
get what I need. But ideally, I would like to be an anchor, and of course in LA. I mean, my parents, when I first started in Colorado, they were like waking up at 3 in the morning to watch me in Colorado
Man, that's beautiful.
live, setting alarms. I was like, you guys really don't have to do this. But I just
Yeah.
know, like, I just want them to be able to like just turn on their TV and listen to me yap while they get ready to hopefully not be working anymore, but do something fun with their lives.
Hmm.
So, um, I just
Shout out
know it means a
Pops.
lot for
Pops is
them.
listening to us right now. Appreciate you, Pops.
Hey, hey,
Oh,
hey, fam, squad.
yeah, I mean, that's just a dream for my parents to be able to experience what I do every morning more naturally.
Yeah,
Beautiful,
and to do it
beautiful,
back and to do it back in your hometown, basically, like like I understand
man.
the draw, I understand the feeling.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're moving in that direction for sure.
Yeah.
You mentioned that this is like your second home though, so are you at least going to be coming back to visit? Like what's the how you just gone out of our lives? So
No,
don't do us
don't
like that.
say that. Why are
It's cold
you,
blooded,
you're trying to
cold
start
blooded,
something.
Make her feel guilty. Make her feel guilty.
Exactly.
cold blooded.
No, I mean, I do plan to come back. I don't know. I mean, it's just hard, and even though like journalism and being a reporter and getting to my goals are everything, like I do still have like a personal life, and I still got to make, you only get like 10 PTO days. So I'm trying to split,
Man,
I hear that. I feel you.
4 sick days. So I got to split 14 days between going home, my birthday vacation, which I always have to do, coming
Hmm.
to Omaha, AKA stuff. So it's
Hmm.
just, I know I'm gonna try to like kill two, what is it? Kill two birds with one stone. And like
Hmm.
maybe when I come back to Omaha, I can do some AKA stuff with my sisters.
I was gonna
yeah,
say,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
come back on
Native
native
Omaha
Omaha
days.
days on your
Come through.
birthday while there's AKA parties
Oh,
going on.
oh, you want me to spend my birthday here too?
Kill 3 birds. Yeah,
Oh, I'm a big city girl. I don't
Oh,
know,
it's like,
but we'll talk about it.
I feel you.
I do have one last question before we get out of here. And this is just kind of dealing with politics of it all. Of
Mm.
course, we've seen you mentioned scripts, and just like the Sinclair of it all and things like that. Like, how do you feel about those players? Would you be open to working for those types of things, or does that play a role in your decision making as a journalist as well?
Do you say like Sinclair Company because they kind of lean
Yeah,
conservative? Okay.
and just other major companies that might have a lean. Like, does your political stance have a play a role? And I know as a journalist you're supposed to be objective,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
let's be honest, we're all humans.
Right. I don't know. And I interned at Fox News headquarters.
Mm.
And that was the only internship I could get. And I mean, I waited till the last minute to start applying. I needed an internship to graduate my master's degree program. So I worked there, and I mean, I liked it. It was cool. I was just an intern, so I wasn't really, in everything, but I sometimes felt like a little bit like awkward in some situations, or like, you know, there just weren't a lot of people that looked like me. Um, so I don't know. I want to say that I would prefer to go to a station or a company that aligns more with like my political views, but I mean, being a anchor on Fox, I mean that's a dream come true if
Mm.
you want to become a national news
Mm.
anchor or reporter. So you never want to close any doors,
Right.
and you don't want to be, so naive that you think you can go in and change everything and make it more this or more that. But I don't know. I mean, and then again, local news, you can work at a Fox station locally. And I mean, it's it's not really super political. I've
Mm.
never worked at a Fox station though. I've only worked at CBS and NBC. So I mean, looking from the outside in, it doesn't seem like they really lean because it's still local news. But
Mm-hmm.
national news as a whole is just completely different.
Yeah,
Mm.
and we've had conversations with Chris Bowling, kind of asking him about similar questions. Ultimately, it does come down to the journalists, their own moral compass, and how what they put in the stories, and just regardless of the station you're at. But I, just kind of had to ask that. I do appreciate the honesty.
And
Yeah.
along those lines too, at KMTV here, you did mention that you did get some pushback from time to time on some of the things that you wanted to
Right,
report. If you were to take a job at a Fox or something like that, I'm sure that you would get even
definitely.
more pushback. How do you deal with pushback? You kind of mentioned a little bit, like you were saying, well, why is this getting pushed back? You would ask them questions, but how did you get to the point where you would get your stories out?
Like I said, like I'm persistent in everything, like everything I do. So, I mean, once I have my mindset on something, like I need it, So I like this story. This is a great story. I mean, maybe the video might be boring or whatever, but like, I think the average viewer isn't like, oh, she's just showing a vacant building. Like, I just can't watch this. They're looking at everything that goes into to the story, who she's talking to, what she's saying. So, I mean, even with like the Ames Business District story that I did
Mm-hmm.
with Ames, like growing and this like incubator coming in, I mean, there was a little pushback from that just because they were like, what are you going to show? Like, no one wants to
Hmm.
see a building. And I was just like, just trust me. Let me show you. Like I have the perfect person in mind. So I just, I try not to get offended when I get pushback
Mm-hmm.
because no one likes anyone that's hot headed. But I mean, sometimes I was frustrated, but I think when I'm frustrated, like I try even harder to get what I want. So that's why I always ask, like, what do you need? Or what was I missing in my pitch that didn't compel you to want to approve it?
Mm.
So
I always wonder what goes on in those newsrooms, the pushback and the.
Oh yeah, it gets tense, but I'm seeing
mhm.
I'm seeing the tools. I'm seeing the tools, and eager and confident that you're going to be a success in wherever you go, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you do as a journalist. I'm thinking of movies I see and just research I've done and journalists that I'm familiar with. The tenacity, the desire to have an impact. All the things I'm hearing are tools for a good journalist. So makes sense why you're getting the love you're getting. Thank you, and best of luck on the next stage.
I appreciate that. Everyone means so much to me. I am so sad, guys. I know you're probably like, you're not that sad because you're leaving. But I am so sad. But I tell you guys, I knew in 2 years I'd be out of here. And then, like a year and a few months into my contract, I was talking to my agent, like, well, I think I really want to stay, a little bit longer. He was like, whoa, I did not see that coming. What's going on? Do you have a boyfriend or something? And I was like, no, no, I just,
Omaha has a little
what's right
charm.
for
A little
me.
charm.
It does. It
Yeah.
does. So.
Well, like I said, we feel like we're missing out with you going away. I see people in the chat trying to guess where you're going, but please, when you make that
Oh, I gotta
announcement,
look.
come on back and come on back and announce it with us too, if you would. We definitely want to have
Oh,
you
I
back.
will. I promise.
You kind of breaking up a little bit here. I think it's because
Again, just being. Okay.
Really appreciate you coming through today. Thank you for taking the time.
Thank you. I'll see you guys soon.
Okay,
all right.
sounds good. Thank
Peace.
you. Peace. All right. Man. Yeah. Anthony Rogers Wright said it best, the brain drain. That's tough.
Man.
Very tough. She did great. She did really, really good. I see in the chat, I see Emily Walker saying, is she leaving Omaha? No, she's moving on. Yep, she's doing that.
So she's going to the Southwest.
Yep. Michelle Moreno says, happy for you, but I totally miss you. Yep, we feel all the same way. I'm sorry we didn't get to your question, Marlon. I wanted to get to that question too. Have you ever talked or hung out with other Black journalists in Omaha? Kind of wanted to find out if they were going to continue this program, the neighborhood reporter. I've already seen some reports coming out of North Omaha from some other reporters at Channel 3. As a matter of fact, the one that covered Kimra's event the other night was the reporter that reported on the Bud Crawford thing. That she was the one that fixed the situation with us, took our footage and then gave us the credit for the footage later on. So I was like, I wonder if they're just going to move somebody who's already there over into this neighborhood position. So we didn't get a chance to get to that with her, but when she comes back to talk about where she's going next, then maybe we can see if anybody, they got anybody coming. Is anybody going to be hired in that position? Are they continuing with that?
Who's next?
Sean McCarthy says, thank you so much for all your work. The Next Network is lucky as hell to have you. For real. Really appreciate that. Kimmer had a great question too. We didn't get a chance to ask. Have you had other opportunities and really be disconnected with Black community through your work? Be disconnected probably is what you're trying to say, right? I just don't see it. When have we felt like anybody was disconnected to especially in North Omaha in the way that they report things? This is unprecedented in a big way.
Well, she crossed AKA in Omaha, which is a big thing. Like that's a big thing, Again, some of her sorors, I'm sure, will be doing good things in the community. And shout out to all the Divine Nine active in the Omaha area. A lot of them have been my mentors. A lot of them are teachers, police officers. Man, a lot of the, if you want access and connection to the Black community, that's one of the best ways to do it.
I think that where she's at, she's already looked up and made some connections there. So can't wait for her to tell us where that is. We'll take a quick break and we'll come right back and jump back into the conversation. Thank you so much for everybody who joined us today and had great questions for her and gave her flowers. I was really hoping that we could do that and express how much we appreciate what she's done. And also just acknowledge how different it is. We don't get to do that as much or hear that as much with people and see the kind of impact that she's made. So appreciate that. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. You're listening to First Guy Omaha in the morning. Paul B. That's me. Buddy the Guy. That's him. We'll be right back, y'all. Follow the money, Rakim say. Shout out to us. First
Hey,
Sky Omaha in the morning. We're back.
in the morning.
It's going down. My name is Paul B. He's Buddy the Guy. Thanks for sticking around for that interview. Really, really awesome. I wanted to give a quick shout out to Leo Adam Biga, who first of all, shout out to the Goodwin family. They lost their patriarch just recently, and I had me thinking about the family and had me kind of going back and checking out some articles about the family, and revisited Leo Adam Biga's legacy family uh, uh, um, series that he put together on Noise back in the day. Here's a link to it if you want to check that out. Siri thought I was talking to her. I ain't talking to you, Siri. Shut up.
Hey, surveillance. They listen.
Series, right? They're always listening, right? But shout out to them. He did a legacy family article on the Goodwins, and I put the link there so you can kind of do a deep dive there too. Just wanted to give a shout out, man. That legacy family a series of articles about some of the Northside families was great, legendary. It's still the Noise site. It's still up. Noise, NOISE, North Omaha Information Support Everyone.
Hey,
Still a thing. I think they're still rolling. As a matter of fact, they're trying to ramp up and do some things here. We'll have to talk about what they got going on. But the main reason why they keep fighting for this is because there's a lot of great legacy articles that's there. There's the legacy family articles, the ones that Keatron Zyko did on the Black Panther Party, and so many other things that are so integral and important to North Omaha, especially are housed over there on the Noise site. So when you get a chance, go check that out. I just hit that link and you can check his out and read that. Kimmer says Brother Goodwin had a brother who owned a barbershop in Old Town Bellevue, who catered to the black officers and other folks in South Omaha and Bellevue. It was called Hair Command. Okay?
Man,
Nice
dope.
piece of information. Yeah, super dope. Super dope.
Man.
Also, earlier in the chat, Kimmer was talking about the visitor center. We haven't talked enough about the North Omaha Visitor Center. Shout out to Brother Preston Love Jr. and everybody involved in putting that together. I've been there several times since it's open, and boy, I got to tell you, it's the new Black City Hall in a big way.
The spot.
It's the spot. There's been some very important meetings and discussions that have happened there, workshops and things. Shout out to Kimmer. Shout out to Leo Lewis, who just did theirs. Shout out to Senator Terrell McKinney, who had his meeting there a couple weeks back. It's turning out to be the place, the spot where people kind of gather. I had my meeting with Melissa Wright over there just the other day. So we can talk about, I can beg her to stay. So that was that was the situation there. But yeah, it was it's interesting to be able to walk in. It feels like the headquarters, the new headquarters. It feels like home. It feels like the new Black City Hall. The Fair Deal, Jackson's Fair Deal Cafe across the street. First of all, is one of the only black restaurants open on a Monday. So I go have some breakfast there on Monday and hop right across the street, man. And if those of you don't know, it's not just a visitor center, it's the coffee shop. We finally got some proper coffee down on the Deuce in a real way. So shout out to them for doing that work and having that space and having that space for the community. It's a place that really feels like it's for us. Man. I walk in there, hey, Kimmer, hey, Leo, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, the heads doing there, putting in work. You feel like some progress is being made when you walk in there and see the fam in there like that. It's a beautiful thing. I can't wait till you come in town. Check it out, buddy. It's a beautiful thing for real.
Yeah, man. Definitely have to check it out. Big shout out to Brother Preston Love Jr. and you know, just really a manifestation of last season, like spaces and places. You know, it started with us celebrating Native Omaha Days on the Deuce and ended with us celebrating the Deuce with the Visitor Center, man. So yeah, it's important. Spaces and places. We need that place and to kind of come together, live alive with one another. And excited to see what comes out of that. I think earlier in the chat, Sister Kimmer mentioned that's something that Brother Preston Love Jr. wants to continue to happen and that there's some intention there. So again, if you're looking to have a space to hold community, to hold a meeting, to gather the people, check it out. Check it out.
For real. 8:34 right now. If you believe in the concept of time and you live in Omaha, Nebraska, we appreciate you joining us right now. I don't know what time it is where you're at, but wherever you're at, you're here with us, and that's the most important thing. We appreciate you. What's next on the agenda, buddy? Before we get out of here, got about maybe close to half an hour left in the show, but we definitely have some more things we wanted to talk about and get to. Where we at, buddy?
Yeah, there's actually a lot to get into. I'm kind of curious to see where you want to take it. I did kind of want to dive into the ICE situation, of course, you had mentioned the social media, your father, Pops getting off of social media, and really, really reminded me of this conversation that they had on Democracy Now! Earlier this week about surveillance capitalism. And I think that's kind of where my mind is.
Mhm.
As we follow the money and really connecting the dots and trying to wrap our heads around what's going on. Actually, one of our chat chimers mentioned brother Leo, or not Leo, Anthony Rogers Wright mentioned that he's going up to Minneapolis right now to again join the forces and join the fray of what's going on there, as I'm sure most of us are aware of. But it's not just there. Of course, we were still trying to figure out what's going on in the Omaha area. It hasn't necessarily been reported as such as far as an ICE raid, but of course, there was even in the Lincoln area Homeland Security activity earlier this week. So we know that these activities are ramping up, are continuing even in our own backyard, and trying to follow the money behind it. And again, what is going on with this situation? And so I guess that's where my mind is. There are many, many angles to this. Actually, I appreciate the article that you pulled, Paul, about, again, some of the salaries that's behind this and where that money is coming from. Because as we all like to say here on the show, it's all connected. So again, let's start there as far as, again, the economics behind the ICE situation, what's going on with that. Of course, I'm sure a lot of you have heard about the.
But before we get into that, I just want to not brush past that.
Okay.
If this was a newspaper, the headline would be there's a lot of money out there for oppression right now. There's a lot of funds going to people to oppress us. And I'm sure that if you were to think about it or hear about it, you would know. It wasn't until we started this season, Follow the Money, where I started thinking of things in terms of the money. And I'm saying, why are these ICE agents going around bragging about how these bonuses? We've been hearing about these bonuses and stuff that they get forever. There's a lot that's happening right now, and it seems like a lot of money is getting taken from things from us and diverted to the forces that are oppressing us. And then we got to throw the cherry on top. It's our money. It's our tax dollars. So. Okay, yeah, here we go.
Yeah. Don't hear it from us. Take it from the elected officials, the ones on the front lines. Check this out.
ICE funding should be cut. We're seeing what they're doing with this reckless explosion in funding. And mind you, just so everybody knows, I want everybody to understand the cuts to your health care are what's paying for this. All that extra money that everybody's paying right now in their premiums, all that extra money that you're paying, it is paid for it is all of that extra money that the government and the ACA subsidies that was given to nearly $1 trillion in healthcare was taken out and given to ICE. So understand how these dots connect. You get screwed over to pay a bunch of thugs in the street that are shooting mothers in the face.
Follow the money.
Gotta let that breathe for a second. And again, shout out to brother Marlon Harrison dropping that in the chat earlier, as far as there might be more money being taken away from the ACA subsidies, as more budget conversations are set to happen at the end of this month. Some Democrats have said that they are actually not interested or not open to using the budget negotiations and funds to try to address the ICE situation, saying that the government shutdowns that, last time the government shutdowns didn't really do anything. If you remember, several Democrats, after several months of the government being shut down, Democrats were the one that crossed the line and really left us with nothing. Shut down for no reason. So yeah, there's a lot to still unpack with this, but just on that note, just on the surface level of that, following the money, again, $50,000 bonuses, signing bonuses for ICE agents coming in. And not to mention, on top of the signing bonuses, just the proliferation in military equipment that they received, the masks, the boots, the guns, so much so, actually there's a clip of Governor Fry of Minnesota saying, speaking about the possibility of, people calling on police to step in and intervene with these ICE raids. And he's basically saying The ICE has such a big budget that they outnumber the local police force almost 5-1. So there is that.
And how
And
does that
again,
happen? I think about how that happens so fast. How do you get numbers like that up? I'm a business owner, and anytime I want to have somebody come help me do something, I got to think about how to pay them. I have to have the infrastructure in order to bring them in on my cause, especially if they're not already there in the cause with me, doing it on the strength. I got to pay people. There's so many people. We get stories all the time about these folks that are out here just getting a check. How do you get the numbers up that fast? Money, where's the money coming from? How you have to have so much money to
big beautiful
there's
bill.
3,000 immigration officers in Minneapolis right now, by just there 3,000. I don't even think there's that many police officers, like you said. 3,000 immigration officers there. How you pay 3,000 people? Just let's just talk about there. Let's just talk about Minneapolis. How do you pay 3,000 people full-time salaries and bonuses to come in and push down protesters?
And this is just the beginning. Again, according to Google Gemini, which is his AI platform, the mechanism for this shift was the One Big Beautiful Bill Act of 2025, a budget reconciliation bill signed into law in July 2025. The legislation lowered federal spending on health insurance for low and middle income Americans to increase funding for immigration enforcement to the tune of $75 billion over the next 4 years. Nearly tripling its previous allotment budget. The total fiscal year 2026 budget for ICE is $11.3 billion through the standard appropriations process, complemented by the significant reconciliation funding. And again, it's possible that more money could be diverted towards ICE at the end of this month.
Side note on the Minneapolis situation, there is 3,000 immigration officers out there, and Trump is still talking about trying to send out the National Guard. He still needs more army out there to tamp down peaceful protesters. Yes, thank you for that. Like, and also, where does that money come from? Because you deploy certain parts of the military, and that's especially. It might be a Paul B blast today. I'm not happy about this. Pop says, yes, ICE was given one of the biggest budgets in the entire federal government, thanks to our fearless leader. The budget that is put together to hire all these people.
What you thinking?
I'm just, just the thought of that, man. The thought of that. I mean, the thought of that, like. How Anthony Rogers Wright is going up to Minneapolis now. He's going to be, there's protesters that are there. I got friends in Minneapolis that are in the street. They're protesting what just happened with one of these ICE agents shooting this woman in the face, another person in the leg here recently, and that's the worst case scenarios. There's attacks. There's all kinds of stuff that's going on out there, and there's people in the street really trying to fight that, and it's just so ironic. Them same people walking around in them streets. They're their tax dollars and their healthcare subsidies and everything else is going to the people that they're marching against.
So naturally, in this conversation, we don't try to, doom and gloom it. Of course, we always got to get to the especially here at this point. It always seems at this point in the show, what do we do about it? But that is something that we have to ask. And when we have these conversations, it'll be irresponsible to kind of leave it here. We all know what we're dealing with, but what can we do about it? There has been, many suggestions, many people urging, calling out for a general strike. There's been, work strikes. What can the people do short of just, taking up arms and defending ourselves in the streets with well-regulated militias? I don't think many of us are trying to go there. So what can we do before we get there? And I'm thinking bottom line, I'm thinking dollars. Obviously, we're seeing what a big part of this, of course, is the tax dollars. That's where this budget is coming from. And I'm kind of, this is just me spitballing. This is me thinking right now, but I am thinking of the nonprofits of it all and the churches. how can we get away from paying taxes, or pull back or lessen the amount of taxes, because we see what they do with our tax dollars. So correct me if I'm wrong, but could we benefit from tax write-offs from donations to nonprofits that are tax free? Creating our own nonprofits to actually do the things. And again, the benevolent illusion of it all, I understand what I'm saying. But we see what they're doing with our tax dollars. How can we get the things that we need to do done in our community without funding our own oppression?
That is the question.
And are tax havens and nonprofits a way to do that?
We did hear a call. From some leaders in Minneapolis about a day that they're talking about boycotting. So the boycotts is another thing that they're trying to do. Anytime I hear about a 1 day boycott, it doesn't strike me as anything that is going to work very well. But they are saying, boycott everything, don't buy anything, don't go to school, don't go to work. So those are some of the things that some people are talking about doing too. But the biggest thing that's standing out to me about what can be done is what some things in other states, what people in other states are doing. There's litigation that's happening. Litigation is another way to get money, and especially when you have a case, when somebody is breaking laws, and you can sue them and take them to court. California is suing. There's a few other states that are also suing for the activities that have led to these ICE raids and everything that's been going on. We don't know how those court cases are going to pan out. But that's another course of action. So the legal representation of politicians that are bold enough to stand up and decide they're going to sue, decide they're going to use the law, hold them accountable to the law, and sue them is another way that happens as well. Because they also are in positions. I'm just thinking about places like L.A. where all this was happening at first. People out on the streets in L.A. big time, in a big way, and Newsom's out there, telling them to get out of there. It's not just one thing to be able to get up on a podium and say we want you to leave, but it's another thing to say we're going to sue you. So litigation is a different thing. Let's see if Philly DA Larry Craner and Philly Sheriff Bilal say they will arrest ICE agents and break local laws. Yeah. So this is law enforcement. We talked earlier about some of the law enforcement that is not as many law enforcement as these ICE agents, but still sometimes those law enforcement clash. Here you have some politicians that are putting that in motion. As Anthony Rogers Wright is saying, they will arrest ICE agents. Those clashes have been happening as well.
But that's only if you got a police force that makes sense. Don't be in Kenosha, Wisconsin, hoping that.
Oof.
Just saying.
Yeah, rough. Yeah, I appreciate that. I'm glad that we're talking about this. This definitely is all connected. Like I said, we're in a situation now where I love that we have the season that we have. It puts my head in a frame of mind because you can get really caught up in political ideology all the time and all kinds of different things for what is you believe, but to stop and think about where the money's coming from and how this works, how this is even working. Who said yes, go ahead? Did Congress? Who said go ahead and use this money and build this personal army of yours?
Congress.
Who let that happen?
Everybody who signed on and passed the big beautiful bill. That's what did this. And of course, Project 2025. But
it set up for this for years before.
Right.
Marcus D. Hines, new name in the chat. Appreciate you. Says local law enforcement has to be willing to uphold the state laws. True.
That part.
And you got to be in states that want to fight that, which we're not. We're not.
Man. So actually, speaking of that, let's go ahead and jump into this Penland situation.
Okay. Christy Noor in the house. Hey y'all, how you doing? How's the campaign going? Christy Noor, appreciate you coming on in this morning. Also, Wanda Lewis earlier while you're pulling that up, Wanda Lewis came in with a message about Phil Rooney. Looks like Phil Rooney from the health department is getting ready to step down. Says he was pivotal during COVID. I'm sorry, I'm not reading it word for word. I'm still looking for your post, but giving us some of that some of that information there. Some important changes being made here. Phil, we've had Phil Rooney on the show before. He was a person that was always, she says he's retiring from Douglas County Health Department. Has been a public information officer there for 19 years. His position was in communications. We've definitely been in communication with Phil Rooney over the years. So shout out to him. We'll have to have him on the show one last time. That's what's up.
Yeah, man, he was definitely our guy during COVID.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, shifting gears in the last 10 minutes of the show and moving from, Trump major to Trump minor, if you will, talking about Ellen Pillin and a lot of the moves that we've seen from him and really how much they echo Trump. I mean, let's just call it what it is, all the way down to taking it upon himself to call the Trump administration to, push the line on this whole McCook Cornhusker Clink. He just want to be like Trump so bad, And here we are with more of the similar budget moves as we're seeing on the national or the national level. Education, healthcare. Even during our break, we didn't really talk about it, didn't really mention it. But again, Trump electing to block subsidies for childcare in certain states. Again, Ellen Pillin falling right in suit, right along. This before we get into the audit that's coming out is being reported by the Nebraska Examiner that Governor Pillin is going to pull approximately $150+ million from DHHS to balance the budget. And again, we've been talking about the issues of DHHS really over several. Actually, it's funny. DHHS was the reason why we started the first Follow the Money season. Again, their St. Francis contract and trying to get into the bottom of that. If you don't remember, again, the Department of Health and Human Services or Hell and Harm, as Senator McKinney calls them, had a very questionable contract with Kansas-based St. Francis Ministries to manage their whole child welfare situation. And that was just a crap show, to keep it clean, to say the least. And yet here we are with more resources being pulled from this already troubled department. Again, with the projected $471 million budget deficit on the horizon, Governor Pillin is looking to pull approximately $150 million from DHHS. Which will possibly be the largest chunk for his proposed budget cuts. Pillin said the spending cuts he wants to enact would not be completed within one budget cycle, but says this is the direction that he would like to go. Roughly 30% of the cuts Pillin is pursuing will come out of DHHS. Pillin also proposes a $22 million cut to the department this year, which means less resources for those who manage child welfare cases, less resources for those dealing with homelessness, less resources for those dealing with, maybe relying on TANF, temporary assistance for needy families, just less assistance all the way around. So again, in the light of that, not only is he taking money away from those who need it, but he's also possibly giving money to friends. Again, this is being reported by Nebraska Public Media. The auditor of Nebraska, Auditor Mike Foley, alleges that the Economic Development Department, in carrying out a Pillin-picked contract, broke state law by not specifying in writing what emergency justified skipping the required step of bidding out contracts. Essentially a no-bid contract, which was the same situation in the St. Francis Ministry situation as far as just picking friends, flunkies, nepotism. It's calling it what it is. Again, $2.5 million were being steered to a state agency in a no-bid emergency contract to a bioeconomy consultant and lobbyist that Pillin knew and had traveled with as part of state delegation. So again, a friend. And also let's keep in mind that anytime personally I hear about bioeconomy or ag or anything dealing with biology, agriculture, and economy and dealing with Pillin, I'm looking with a side eye because again, Pillin, as you see, no happenstance, right on his desk, that big old pig, reminding you that Pillin is one of, if not the largest pig farmer in the state. Take from that what you will.
Oh my gosh, man! Every time we say that out loud, it cracks me up. In our community, to say the biggest pig farmer in the state sounds like a slur.
He's good old Nebraska money.
It just sounds like such a slur. Like I don't even know how to explain it. Like for those of us that don't eat pork, and so the biggest pig farmer in the state almost sounds like some Farrakhan or somebody would say.
Man, I mean, but
Oh,
when
Mr.
we actually get
Fire.
into, the nuances and the literal nitty gritty of pig farming, what does he do with his fecal matter
Ooh,
of all those pigs? Where does that go?
it turns into nitrates that gets in the water that messes with brain cancer in the kids. We talk about it. Yeah. Shout out to Nebraska Public Media, especially for
Big pig on the desk. The big pig.
getting that shot.
The biggest pig.
Yeah, it's cold. You can't make this stuff up. Appreciate everybody that is bringing some things to the attention. Pops was saying Pillin is so close into Trump and ideology that in musical terms, Pillin could be called a relative minor.
Trump minor. I told you.
Or musical theory humor. I love it. I love it.
Trump minor diminished.
Marcus Hines says they've been doing this for decades. That's why they don't think it's a big deal. There you go.
It's business as usual.
Arrows 402. Americans can't even stop eating pigs to prove a point without a state giving them welfare. Woo, man. But Wanda Lewis says definitely less resources in education. While he wants third graders who struggle with reading to regress a grade backwards with no assistance in place. Yeah, there's a bill out there. There's also a bill out there that reminds me of a bill out there where he's where he's pushing for kindergartens, up to first, second, third grade to be suspended, and they're fighting that. Let's not suspend the babies. Let's do something else. Also, RG is reminding us about a article that came out in Flatwater Free Press about the young man who lost his life on the property. Haven't heard anything since that article. Let us know if you got a chance to dig into that a little bit. We're talking a lot about Pillin on this level, but I think right now, especially when we're in this season, follow the money. We got to kind of figure that we got to see that. We had actually reported on this a while back. I remember last year there was some information out there about him putting some money in the pocket of people that were talking about the nitrates and stuff in the soil that has something to do with the environment. And I remember us talking about this. That's interesting. He has the biggest pig farm in the Midwest, and he's got friends that are dealing with the environment that are able to make some. It's kind of right there in your face. It feels like to me.
Follow the money.
Follow the money. So we're in the perfect season for this. Lots to talk about here with that, and of course we'll continue to talk about this because it is connected to a whole bunch of other things that's going on here. And again, like we came to about 10 minutes ago, it was about 8:47, and we were saying this part in the show we need to talk about what we can do, and we're still definitely there. We definitely have to kind of figure those things out. One of the things that we got to do, one of the lanes is political power.
Mm-hmm.
And he has been decided he's running for re-election. He already has the biggest coffers of money in the ever to rerun. And I'm just thinking about Precious McKesson and what she has to say about the 6 to dismiss and how Pillin is one of them. They want somebody else in for governor. I've been hearing a lot of people say that. Say we would love to have another governor. Shout out to Mark Manor, Chad Chimer. He's been putting out some posts. He posits that this cat might be worse than Ricketts was. Some ways, maybe that's what he's feeling. So my next question is, well, who then? Who would be running? Who would run?
That part.
And if there is a chance for anybody to get through there, hopefully we'll see. Anthony Rogers Wright doesn't seem to think so, especially if they're Democrats. Do they have a candidate, or is there anybody that they're able to push? Is it somebody that's just as moderate that's going to keep things status quo? These are all the questions that I got for them. But besides who they are, who else? Who else is there? Who else is out there running? Anybody running independently? Is there anybody that could take the seat? Otherwise, we kind of got to rely on to a few other things that need to happen here. So shout out to the first of all the media that are calling these things out.
Man.
Fourth Estate bringing it up, I was very surprised to see an article by Nebraska Public Media that talked about this issue in such detail. This is the
Broke it down.
beginning of that right now, right? This is the beginning of that. So where do we go from here on that? We'll see. And again, we're coming up to the end of the show here, so we'll definitely continue that conversation later. Anthony Rogers right in the chat says Democrats need to learn and fast that candidates that support Israel and genocide have no chance of getting elected. None. There's more reasons why they don't have a chance of getting elected. Some of them, just the battle of the state that's happening here as well. So, again, we always revert back to that. Who can it be? Is there any independence things happen? We were talking about independence a couple of years ago. The independent movement, and how a lot of young people are joining the independent movement and so on. A lot of people that we know that have voted independent all the way, down the line. Where are the answers at? We'll definitely be talking to Precious McKesson this season. We'll invite her back to have some conversations with her. Again, we're looking at putting together a series of videos called The Six to Dismiss so that we can interview other candidates that are running for those seats and get a better idea of who's out there and what they're planning to do, and get to know them better as well. And I really kind of understand what's happening here. We are in election season, and the question I'm going to keep coming back to is, what does it mean for my dollars that certain people are in certain seats? So I'm glad that we dug into this thing with Pillin right now with that. A lot more to talk about.
There's a lot. I'm having too many thoughts right now.
Yeah, well, we'll definitely save it for later. So again, we're at the end of the show. It's already 9:01. If you believe in the concept of time, really, really appreciate you guys, man, coming through here. And shout out to Melissa Wright.
Hey,
spend the time. She actually hit us up a couple months back, like, my contract's about to be up. I can't wait to come on the show. So she was itching to come on the show and talk a little bit. And we absolutely wanted to have her. You already know why. It was just man. I'm so glad that you guys were able to be here for that and give her flowers. Again, we'll try to have her back again another time when she's ready to announce where she's going next, because we can follow her career too, man. Everything is global now. Just if she's at a local news channel somewhere, we can still watch it from here. That's what it is. Who can it be now? That's right. I want to know, who can it be now? We gotta find out who's gonna be in them seats.
Six to dismiss.
I'm gonna ask you real quick before we go. Anybody in the chat? Anybody have any ideas on who you would want for governor next?
Hello, governor.
Let us know. Friends of First Sky Omaha on the Facebook page, group page. Wanda Lou says, "Isn't Tony Vargas running for treasurer?" I do believe so. Yep. So I'll put it out there. If you got any answers, let us know. Put it in Friends of First Sky Omaha. You can always hit us up also at firstsky.omaha@gmail.com. That's our kind of a general mailbox where we try to both make sure that we're taking a look at it and answer some questions there. So definitely check that out. Also, go to firstsky.omaha.com, our website. We're putting our resources page together over there. I believe it's firstsky.omaha.com/Omaha_resources. Is that the address?
Dash. No, community resources. First Sky Omaha. firstskyOmaha.com/community-resources.
Perfect. We'll work that out. So I appreciate that. RG said Pastor Porter.
Pastor P for governor. Okay. That's one name.
I love it. Appreciate y'all. We will continue this on Monday. We are shooting for. We needed to make that decision. I think it's MLK Day is Monday, right? Isn't it the holiday?
Yeah. I mean, I'm planning on working.
I was trying to reach out to see if we were going to start Senator Cipher on this Monday, but we'll see if they got a day off from the legislature. Maybe we'll start next week so they can get that morning off. But nonetheless, I'm sure that we got a lot of guests piled up, so we'll have a special guest on Monday. Whether it will be the senators, we don't know yet, but we'll see. But definitely continue this conversation because this is going to be a great one. I kind of have been anticipating this season for a while. There's a lot of questions I have about it. Personally deal with money in a very emotional way myself, and I'm trying to get past that. I'm trying to figure out what to do with my money, how is we can invest in not just here, but elsewhere out of the country. What do we need to do to shore things up while the belt gets tightened, while people get the haircuts around here? And we have to throw in talking about how much unemployment there is right now and what everything that's going on, man. We live in very precarious positions and times, and it affects people like us, especially people like us who are in this kind of gig creator economy. Me and Buddy are feeling the pain in a big way, man. Can we continue to do what we're doing is always the question. So everybody who's been a member and a person who's been donating to our cause, got to thank you for us to
Thank
keep
you.
this rolling. Right. Keeps us going. So we'll continue to do that. We have some membership stuff that's coming up soon. So if you happen to be wanting to become a member, stay tuned. We'll have some new ways for you to be able to do that, and some new perks that are coming and all that good stuff. We'll do that. We'll roll this out along with you guys this season and get your feedback on how those things are going as well. So appreciate it. Pop says the new season is off to a rip snorting start.
That's a new one. Rip snorting.
I'm sure he's probably saying rip roaring start, but I like rip snorting a lot. I can't wait till Monday's show. Please have a great weekend, and thanks to all you do. Appreciate you, Pops. Appreciate you being able to come through and participate with us today, and all that good stuff and everything you're doing out there. Can't wait to come out and visit the fam out there for real.
Squad.
Any last words to the people, buddy?
Man, big shout out to Sister Melissa Wright for coming through and speaking with us. I'm sure she, hopefully she received all the love that was given, and best wishes to her on the next thing. And of course, big shout out to all of you chat chimers, ghost listeners, first time listeners, last time listeners, monitoring spirits, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you. We love you. We thank you. This season, big changes are coming to the show, how we do the show, our membership situation, our business model in general, and we're looking forward to taking you on that journey with us. So look out for that. Of course, today is Friday, weekly wrap coming out. Check out for your inbox and let us know if anybody else is having issues with getting those to your email. And we'll try to get that situated. In the meantime, between time, Paul B.
Yo.
Take it away, man.
Yeah, I do want to apologize. We did have a glitch on that. You were right. You did not get the weekly wrap in the timely manner that we were supposed to last Friday. We apologize for that. We tried a new situation where we automated the situation, and the automation AI didn't send it off like it was supposed to. We had to come in and manually do it. So
AI is not the answer.
It's not the answer. Everybody's acting like they're gonna take over everything. They taking more time for me right now. So yeah, we apologize for that, and we'll get the weekly wrap out there to you today for sure. And if you haven't signed up for that, please consider doing that. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and put that link in the chat right now. If you have not signed up for the weekly wrap, hit that, sign up for it. It's another way that we're going to be communicating going forward, because yes, we do have to keep on having these conversations about where to meet y'all. One more thing I want to put out there too, and I might put this on a survey on the weekly wrap today so that you can answer this for us. Texting. Do you want to get news via text? Do you want to get news? We're trying to work out how we will engage some SMS delivery, and we want to find out from you if that's the thing. I've been opposed to it all this time. Buddy suggested it a few years back because he knew it was the future. I've been opposed because I don't want to get one more text on my phone, but that's just me. But I did have a conversation with somebody last night about that are doing the same thing that Pops is doing, which is divesting from the social media platform. And I'm saying, well, where are you going to get your news when you do that? And this person that I was talking to last night said Apple News was their main, but they also wouldn't mind getting texts with some information as well. And we kind of came to the conclusion that when it comes to news that is relevant and needed right this minute, and not all the time, not every day, but if there's something that's up, then maybe we should be using text and SMS to relay that to the people. When we get down to being able to have to figure out how to communicate because they've shut things down around this fascist state, we got to figure out what we're doing next for communication. And there's people that are going so far as to building satellites and buying walkie-talkies and doing all kinds of stuff because they don't know what's going to happen. Ham radios and everything. We got to think about it.
Still a thing.
So one of the first things that we can do is talk to each other directly, which we always feel like is the best thing to do. Live alive with one another. That may include direct messages. So let us know how you think of that, how you feel about that. Put that in Friends of First Sky Omaha. I'll try to make a survey and put it on the newsletter today too, so you can do that. And we'll post the link to that when we have it. And let's talk about it. How do you get your information? How do you want to get your information? If you want to take a break from social media, where do we go next to have these conversations? Love to know. With that, we're going to get out of here. Shout out to the Omaha Tribe Elders for allowing us to be on this land and speak while we're here. Shout out to our elders for allowing us to speak before you, and shout out to you, the chat chimers, allowing us to speak with you. Thank you so much for being respectful in the chat today, and also being respectful to our guest today and giving her flowers. That made me feel really good to see many people coming in thanking her, and we thank her as well. We'll see you on Monday. You guys take care of yourselves. Peace.
Peace.
Oh, stay warm too. Supposed to be flurries and things out there. So check on your loved ones, all that good stuff. We'll see you Monday. Peace, peace, peace.
By the way, Vanglorious, this is protected by the red, the black, and the green. At the crossroad, with the key.
By any